Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be talking about my top 15 favourite movies from the year 1987. As always, these are all in accordance with the release dates from IMDb. All 15 of these movies have 1987 against their name. This is just my personal top 15 favourites. Your list is going to be different, and so it should be. These are just mine. But yeah, and as always guys, going to leave my honourable mentions down below in the comments. There was so many from this year. I could have done another top 15. There were just that many. But yeah, these for me are the elite ones. I just absolutely enjoy these ones so much. So yeah, that being said, I'm going to kick it off with number 15. So coming in at number 15, we have the John Hughes penned Some Kind of Wonderful. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. Really enjoyed it for the first time I watched it. Another great coming of age written John Hughes movie. Absolutely fantastic, following this guy who falls in love pretty much with this girl who's got a boyfriend, and he's just talking about her constantly to his best friend Watts, who's kind of like this tomboy drummer. And yeah, you can kind of see where the movie's going. It's about him, sort of what his dad wants him to do more than what he actually wants to do, and that kind of pressure that parents put on you when you're thinking about your future. And yeah, it's just a great movie, and it's got a phenomenal score and soundtrack as well. The music in this movie is just absolutely brilliant. The opening theme is just phenomenal. I absolutely love that. The drums are just so powerful in it. So yeah, that is my number 15 pick, Some Kind of Wonderful. So coming up next at number 14, we have Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam. Not a movie I liked the first time I watched it, but again, on rewatch, connected with the movie a hell of a lot more. He pretty much plays this radio DJ in Vietnam, and he causes a lot of controversy. There's people who love him, there's people who absolutely hate him, more so people who love him. And he gets replaced by this other DJ who's about as funny as Dull Dishwater. And yeah, there's just outcry to have him back. He gets involved with this Vietnamese girl as well, whose brother runs into a spot of trouble. And yeah, I just love the film. I think Robin Williams is great. He's just firing at all pistons in this movie, as he always does. And I just think it's a phenomenal movie. So yeah, that is my number 14 pick, Good Morning Vietnam. So coming up next at number 13, we have, in my opinion, what should have been the first of many movies of this series for this actor, and it is Timothy Dalton in The Living Daylights. This is my old VHS. There's a really funny story behind this VHS where I just couldn't get hold of it for the longest time. But yeah, I love the movie. It's just a great 180 turn coming off of View to a Kill, in my opinion, and Dalton just grabs the role with both horns and just goes for it. I know a lot of people say that this movie's a little bit boring, and I never got that from this film. I just really enjoyed it. I love Dalton in the role. It's just an amazing debut from him as Bond, and it's such a shame we only got 2 movies from him, but this one's great. I absolutely love it. I love the third act of this film as well. All the stuff on the plane is fantastic. The stuff at the fairgrounds. So many scenes in this movie that are just absolutely great, and yeah, I just love it. I'd say the weakest part of it is probably the villain. There's just no real connection or motive there to sort of sink your teeth into, but other than that, this is a really fun James Bond outing, and yeah, what should have been, in my opinion, the first of many for Dalton. So yeah, that is my number 13 pick, The Living Daylights. So coming in at number 12, we have Joel Coen's Raising Arizona, starring Nicolas Cage. What a fun film this is. I just absolutely have a blast with it. It's just this story about Nicolas Cage, who's in and out of prison constantly. He falls for one of the prison officers there. They end up getting married, but his wife wants nothing more than to become a mother, and they're told that they can't have kids. So they decide to kidnap a baby from a rich family who've just had quintuplets. And yeah, bounty hunters are hired. His friends escape from prison as well, and hilarity ensues. This movie is just absolutely insane, and I just love it. It's so much fun. It's a great follow-up as well from Blood Simple, from the Coens, and yeah, this movie is just hilarious and just it's so much fun. It looks gorgeous as well, and yeah, it's just a great film. So yeah, that is my number 12 pick, Raising Arizona. So coming up next at number 11, we have Mel Brooks's Spaceballs. Just a great comedy spoof movie about the Star Wars films, pretty much. There's some other movies thrown in there as well, like Alien and Planet of the Apes. But yeah, this was one that I loved rewatching this as a kid. It was just one I grew up with and just absolutely adored it. I thought it was so funny, even though I think now the humour doesn't work for me as much as an adult, but yeah, there's just so much charm to this film. The cast of characters are great in this film. Rick Moranis, John Candy, Bill Pullman, Mel Brooks himself. It's just such a fun film, and I just really, really get on with this one. So yeah, that is my number 11 pick, Spaceballs. So cracking into the top 10 now, coming in at number 10, we have George Miller's The Witches of Eastwick. There's something about this movie that just works for me, that I absolutely adore. I don't think it's a great movie. I think it's a really good film, but there's something about it that just stops it from being great, in my opinion. The cast is absolutely amazing. Susan Sarandon, Michelle Pfeiffer, Cher, Jack Nicholson just chews the scenery up as Darrell Van Horn in this film. He's just incredible. There's some shots in this movie, particularly the opening, and particularly the sequence where Jack Nicholson's having dinner with Cher outside. It looks phenomenal. It's just an absolutely gorgeous movie. The third act of this film is so much fun as well, with all the voodoo stuff. It's just absolutely great, and it's just an all-round gorgeous, fun film, and I just have a great time at this one. So yeah, that is my number 10 pick, The Witches of Eastwick. So coming in at number 9, we have Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2, another VHS. This is probably my favourite out of the 5 Evil Dead movies we've gotten so far. I just have such a blast with this film. Where the first movie, I think, really holds up as a horror film, and there are some like creepy, scary moments in it, which this movie has as well. I just find that this movie just takes the much more fun approach, and it's a more entertaining film for me. It just really cranks up the gore, really hams it up. It's over the top, and I just love the movie for doing that. Great score and soundtrack as well. Really, really have fun with this one. And yeah, such a bizarre ending, and yeah, just so creative and so imaginative, and it just takes you on this roller coaster of just creative effects, and I love it. I have such a great time with this one. So yeah, that is my number 9 pick, Evil Dead 2. So coming in at number 8, we have a Stanley Kubrick film, and that is Full Metal Jacket from the Stanley Kubrick collection set. Yeah, definitely a movie of two halves for me. All depends on which half you prefer. I find that with most audiences, and I think most audiences, like myself, prefer the first half of the movie. So the first half is pretty much all the boot camp stuff, and the second half is the soldiers in the actual war itself at Vietnam. And yeah, although the second half is still really good, it's still amazing filmmaking with amazing acting, the movie just doesn't capture the magic of the first half for me. All of that boot camp stuff, the drill sergeant steals every scene he is in. He's brilliant and he's terrifying. And it also delves into like someone's mental, the decay of someone's mental state with Private Pyle, played brilliantly by Vincent D'Onofrio. And yeah, it's that first portion of the movie for me that is where all the gold is at. And yeah, I just have such a fantastic time with it. So yeah, that is my next pick, Full Metal Jacket. So coming up next at number 7, we have Brian De Palma's The Untouchables, starring Kevin Costner, Sean Connery and Robert De Niro. Just an absolutely fantastic crime drama film. about the takedown of Al Capone. Sort of follows this small band of police officers who just decide to, we're going to investigate him, we're going to try and take him down ourselves, let's do this. And yeah, I think they realise that they've just got a formidable foe on their hands. With Al Capone, the table sequence with the baseball bat in this movie is just absolutely phenomenal. The staircase sequence is absolutely great. And it's just an all-round really good, really satisfying film from De Palma, and it's a home run by him. And yeah, I just think this movie's great. So yeah, that is my number 7 pick, The Untouchables. So coming up next at number 6, we have a movie I grew up with, and that is The Princess Bride. Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's a movie that like I said, I grew up with, but similar to The Goonies, it was one of these movies I saw on TV and had no idea what the movie was called. It wasn't until years later I found out the title of the film. But yeah, I really enjoy this one. I know audiences who are watching it nowadays for the first time can't get into this film, and I found that with a lot of people, to be honest. I think it's one that you really have to sort of have grown up with to appreciate. I think that's the main general consensus about the film. That's what I'm finding nowadays anyway, but for me, I really enjoy this one. I love the cast of characters in it. They're just great. Mandy Patinkin is just fantastic in this movie, who's just out to avenge his father, and you really do get that satisfying conclusion to it. Kerry Ellis is great. Robin Wright's fantastic in the movie as well. Chris Sarandon as the villain, and Christopher Guest as the Six-Fingered Man. Yeah, there's just so much going on in this film I absolutely love. So yeah, that is my number 6 pick, The Princess Bride. So coming up next at number 5, we have Joel Schumacher's The Lost Boys. Yeah, this one, I only really got into this movie after watching Kiefer Sutherland and Stand By Me, and I wanted to see more from him, and I just decided to, I'll take a punt on The Lost Boys. And I didn't really have any idea or clue that it was a vampire film, and for me it worked so well. It was all the better for it. Really, really enjoyed this one, about these 4 vampires who were pretty much not well best received in this this sort of like Ocean Bay town. And yeah, new family moves in, single mother with her 2 sons, and they become friends with David, played by Kiefer Sutherland, who kind of leads Michael, the eldest son, down the wrong path. You've got the Frog Brothers in this movie as well. Edward Herrmann's great in the film, and yeah, it's just an all-round fun vampire movie with an absolutely fantastic soundtrack. I love that song as well from Tim Capello. Yeah, just a great movie, great soundtrack, and definitely one of the better Joel Schumacher movies. So yeah, that is my number 5 pick, The Lost Boys. So coming in at number 4, we have Richard Donner's Lethal Weapon. These are just some of the best buddy cop movies ever, but the first one's definitely my favourite. It also has the rare distinction of being a series that's directed by the same director throughout, and the first one for me is just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I think Danny Glover and Mel Gibson just have amazing chemistry in the first Lethal Weapon as well as the others, and yeah, it really does touch on that. One of them's coming to the near retirement, and the other one is really going through a bad time, and it really does touch on that depression element really well. And yeah, but the 2 of them, when shit hits the fan and they've got to get down to business, they're amazing in this movie. And yeah, it's just a fantastic buddy cop movie, and I just really enjoy it. So yeah, that is my number 4 pick, Lethal Weapon. So coming into the top 3 places now, and taking the bronze medal for me, is this little cracking gem by John Hughes, and that is Planes, Trains and Automobiles. Yeah, just what a fantastic movie. Steve Martin, who just wants to get home for Thanksgiving. Everything goes wrong, and he meets Del Griffin, played by John Candy, and the 2 of them just absolutely can't stand each other at first. They just get on each other's nerves, and yeah, John Candy being John Candy in this film is just so full of charm and so full of heart. And yeah, I just have an absolute ball with this film. The ending to this is just absolutely heart-wrenching, but it's the journey and the connection that these two guys make that just is amazing. And it's just an absolute gem of a film. So well directed, so well written, and yeah, it's just a fantastic feel-good film. Love everything about this one. So yeah, that is my number 3 pick, Planes, Trains and Automobiles. So coming in at number 2, we have John McTiernan's Predator. The manliest of manliest movies. Just, yeah, the testosterone in this movie is just off the charts. Just such a great concept with a movie that turns on its head about halfway through. Just about these soldiers who are sent into this rescue mission in the jungle. The jungle itself is just a character in this film. Every shot of the jungle just looks phenomenal in this movie. Schwarzenegger's fantastic. He brings all the star power that he always does. The cast of characters are great, and they end up having to come up against this menacing alien force, the Predator, and it's just absolutely iconic in cinema for me, the design of this thing. And yeah, I just absolutely love this film. It's one of Schwarzenegger's best. It's one of John McTiernan's best. Absolutely love it. I can't say anything new about it that hasn't already been said. It's Predator. It's just a phenomenal macho movie, and I just absolutely love everything about it. So yeah, taking the silver medal, we have Predator. So coming in at number 1, guys, this was a movie for me that again was a no-brainer. It was going to take the top spot from this year no matter what. I love and adore this film. I think it's a masterpiece, and it is Paul Verhoeven's RoboCop. I love this movie. It is a masterpiece in my opinion. There isn't really anything wrong with it at all. I saw this movie for the first time when I was about 8 years old, and it scared the living shit out of me. And I wouldn't have had my introduction to this movie be any other way. I absolutely love this film. I just think it's great. The gore effects in it are absolutely top notch. I love this movie's unapologetic approach to its violence. It's over the top, it's in your face. The villains in this movie are absolutely great. They're just a gang of horrible assholes, irredeemable people, and it's just a great revenge movie. Everyone you want to see get their comeuppance gets it, and yeah, it's just so well made. It does one of the best passages of time in this film as well, with the way we see things from RoboCop's point of view every now and again when he gets switched on. It's just a great film, a great RoboCop design as well, great Detroit setting, great villains, great violence. Love this film. The theme to RoboCop as well is just absolutely phenomenal. So I just, if you can't tell, I love this film. I think it's great. Yeah, love it. So much great atmosphere in it as well. It's just a brilliant movie for me. So really enjoy this one. So yeah, taking the gold medal for me, coming in at number 1, Paul Verhoeven's RoboCop. So yeah, those are my top 15 favourite movies from 1987, guys. Gonna leave the video there and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.